Hello, everyone, and welcome to the introduction of a brand new show that we're bringing to Amazon Live called The Art Spot. I'm Cyrus Webb. So glad you all can be with us. Going to go ahead and connect with our friends over on Amazon for today's broadcast. Excited about this. Excited that you guys can be able to join us for what's going to be an introductory show to us here on social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. And as I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and connect with our friends over on Amazon as well for our broadcast too. This show is going to be a little different than what you guys are used to seeing me do, of course, because typically you're just seeing me doing interviews or, of course, doing product demonstrations. This show is going to add a different dimension. So now we're able to bring my love of the arts to you guys as well. For those who don't know, I actually started my career actually in the arts with drawing and poetry and words. So now we're able to bring those two worlds together in this brand new show, and I'm excited about it. We're now live on Amazon Live with this introduction to the Art Spot. So again, I appreciate you all being with us. For those who are joining us on social media, either on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or on X, or also those joining us on Amazon as well. I'm going to type a quick welcome message for you guys. Make sure you guys, if you're on Amazon, make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. Type that in for you guys. Make sure to follow for more. So, what can you expect from the Art Spot? What's going to make it different than what you typically see me doing on Amazon Live? Well, I'm going to tell you. The Art Spot is all about creativity. So, yes, you're used to seeing me doing product demonstrations, used to being able to see me being able to tell you about different products. But today, we're going to actually be able to see another part of my life. Again, I was introduced to the public thanks to my love of the art, and I get to share that now with all of you in our program. So you will see me actually creating art here on the show. We'll be doing it together live, which I'm very excited about. I get very excited about everything, but creating art is one of those things that I'm definitely loving. Melissa Banks, hello to you. Glad you could join us for this introduction to the Art Spot. We're in our brand new studio. This is Studio A. So this is my first time being able to do a broadcast here. So glad that you guys can be with us. You see, we have our artist studio sign right here. For those of you who may have artists in your family, again, you guys can be able to not only to work along with us, but also to be able to shop with us as well. So let me walk you through what you'll find here in Studio A for the Art Spot. Some things that maybe you can be able to use either if you're an artist or creative. I think you'll find some things that'll be helpful for you. So let's start off with what I just mentioned there. I mentioned I have the artist studio sign here. So this is great, of course, and I'm going to highlight it in the carousel for you guys. This is great for artists to be able to have, of course, to be able to show them, of course, this is their work area, right? So I love the fact that we're able to be able to show you guys this, and of course, be able to easily just hang it wherever you might be. Of course, I have mine hanging here. They can be wherever you want it to be in your artist area. So that's one of the things you guys can get. You can get it for $12.98. That's $12.98 here on Amazon if you want to get the Artist Studio sign. The next thing we're going to talk about that's in our carousel for you guys, and that is how I'm able to do today's broadcast. Now, as I mentioned, this is a brand new set, and this took me quite a bit of work to put together. And one of the things that separates this, which is why it's going to look a little different, is that we are actually using additional not only lighting, but also cameras for this as well. Typically, on all of my other shows, we're only are doing one camera, and that is the camera that I'm talking to you at now. For this show, though, here on the Art Spot, we're doing something very different, and we're able to do it thanks to this. This is an overhead phone mount overhead station, and that's what I'm actually using right now. So when we actually get started with the art, you'll see I'm able to switch over, like you guys can see here. Look at that. So I'm able to be able to switch over to this camera, this overhead camera, so you guys can be able to see exactly what I'm working on in real time, which is very cool. We haven't done anything like this before for Amazon Live or any of my other programming, but this is a way for you guys to be able to see up close and personal what it is that I am working on at the time that I'm doing it. You can be able to get this overhead mic. It's on sale right now for $28.98. It comes with a camera mount, has a phone mount. Also, also it has a built-in ring light on it as well. So you can get it for $28.98. That's 15% off. The regular price is $33.99. Melissa says, I want that. Melissa, it can be yours. You know what they say on the Price is Right. The Price is Right. You can get it. So again, that is what you guys are able to get, of course, when it comes to the ring light. I'm going to go ahead and swap this out for you guys so you can easily be able to see me there. Now, let's go to the next item that we have in the carousel. I'm going to go ahead and bring myself up larger there so you guys can be able to see me. So after we have of course, the Artist Studio sign, you all can see there. Also, as I mentioned, we are using something special that you guys can see. Again, this is really, we're really going all out for you guys. So again, this is, brand new. We've never done this before where we've used an overhead camera for our programs. But for the art spot, I want you guys to come in and be a part of the work with us. So that's why we're able to have it just out of frame here, but it's able to be able to allow me to put my camera here to be able to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. You can be able to, of course, be able to use your phone too. If you don't have an additional camera, you can use that. So this show, and I've mentioned this before, this show has been 2 years in the making. Melissa and I were just talking about today that this is something that initially I was supposed to be working on with Amazon 2 years ago, but they say timing is a more unique situation now with my Amazon partners, where I'm working with a lot of people who can bring us some great products, including what you guys are already seeing here today. But also, I want to give some thanks to an individual who's inspired me in my life. So this show that we're doing today is dedicated to my former high school art teacher, Betty Phelps. And the reason why I want to dedicate this to her, and I should say too, before Betty Phelps became our art teacher at Brandon High School, I had another great art teacher, Sharon Ivy, as well. But the thing that really stood out to me about Miss Phelps is that she saw me in ways a lot of people didn't. I've always loved to draw. So that was always something I always tried to do well when I was doing art projects. But my family, I was saying to Melissa, my family could not afford certain things. And I knew that if I needed certain things for art or other extracurricular activities I was doing, my parents would do their best to try to get it for me, but I knew that meant they would be going without something. So I was the type of kid, I didn't ask for a lot of stuff. So one thing that was in art that we were told to get was an artist portfolio to be able to put our art in. So of course, I was not working at the time, and I didn't want to go to my parents and tell them, hey, I need to get an artist portfolio for my art, because once again, I knew that meant that, they would do it. But again, that meant them going without something else. So I didn't tell them about it. My parents knew nothing about the artist portfolio. I never said anything to Miss Phelps about it either. But I guess she figured because I had gotten one, there was a reason why I had not gotten a artist portfolio. So what happened was something that really touched me in ways I don't even think she realized at the time. Now, I told bits of this story a couple of years ago, and she and I had a chance to talk via Facebook about it. But Miss Phelps was commending me on my work, and she told me she wanted to give me something. And Miss Phelps gave me an artist portfolio. And this was in 1994. And that meant more than she could have ever imagined, because not only did I have a place to keep my artwork, it showed me what she saw in me, the value she saw in me. And I still, to this day, again, that was in 1994, I'm still using the artist portfolio today. And here it is right here. Still has my art in it that I'm currently producing. You can see it here. Has a nice little pocket here on the front of it. But every time I pull this out, I think about Betty Phelps. Again, my high school art teacher that saw something, in this country boy from Mississippi. And it has really meant so much to me not only when it comes to valuing myself as an artist, but also reminding me of what I have to offer. And I hope that encourages each one of you. What we're going to be talking about today, because March is recognized as Arts and Crafts Month, so I thought it was a great opportunity for us to be able to create some arts and crafts together. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to give you guys some great items you can be able to get that are affordable for the entire family. Melissa says, wow, that's awesome. You still have it. And yes, still have it and use it. In fact, I still have artwork in here now, Melissa, that I've created. You can see this is some of the artwork that I've created. This is actually one of my my high school girlfriends here, Melissa. You know, I've forgotten this was in here. This is Karen Buckhalter. I drew this of my high school girlfriend back there in high school. That's crazy that that's still in here. Anyway, so yes, enough of that for right now. But yes, I still use it, and again, Miss Phelps, this is dedicated to you. This show is dedicated to you. So let's get into what we're going to be doing today. As I mentioned, March. Melissa says you know Karen. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. You just never know who knows who. You never know who knows who. So let's get into today's broadcast. So what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you guys some items that are affordable options you can be able to use to create arts and crafts at home. Now, you don't have to be a trained artist. I'm not a trained artist. Oh, Melissa said just playing. Now, her father was either a principal or a teacher, I think. Mr. Buckhalter, I think he was. But yeah, real nice. She and I still connected here on Facebook. So yeah, really, really good person. But again, so today's show is I'm walking you guys through these ideas. These are things that are great arts and crafts that can be done with the entire family. And they are affordable options for you guys as well. So keep that in mind as we're going throughout our show for today. None of these things are going to break the bank, but it's a great way to be able to start making some arts and crafts with the family, but also, of course, to be able to do something for yourself too. And as I mentioned, we're going to actually be creating some art too. So let's go ahead and take a look. First thing we're going to be able to look at are some of the art projects that I normally use. And these are some all-in-one sets you guys can be able to get. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm able to use here is this paintbrush holder, but it also is a way for you to be able to clean off your brushes. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here so you can be able to see it. So I love this because it has 3 different tiers with it. You take the top off. You have to be able to use this for mixing. Okay, you can use this for mixing. You can also be able to mix your paint in here. You can see the different areas there. And then here you see I already have some water in there. That's where you're able to wash and clean your brushes off into. While your brushes are drying, you can be able to put them here, as you can see there. So you see the holes there. So this makes it really cool. So you can be able to get this this paintbrush cleaner. It's on sale right now for $9.99. That's $9.99. The regular price is $12.84. And we're going to be using this today. Again, this is a paintbrush cleaner. Definitely comes in handy. All right, we're going to move on to our next item that we have in our carousel. And again, all of the items, as I mentioned, are right here, but you can be able to get them as we're talking about them here in the carousel. The next up is this cool set. And I'm glad, again, I have the overhead camera to be able to show you guys this, because this is a cool set for you guys that kind of isn't all in one. So as you'll see, it is an easel. This is the case that this is what it looks like here. Go ahead and set it down. You're able to use this as an easel. You have see the holes there. You're able to put your holder there for you. Supplies in place. So I can go ahead and open it up for you guys there. You can see, look, it comes with canvases. So you have 3 canvases here. Also here, this is again a great all-in-one. You have your brushes. You can see there. It comes with your 12-piece acrylic paint set. You can see there. Turn it around for you. And then it has your instructions to be able to assemble it so you can use it as an easel. Also, it does have a mixer in it as well. You can get this entire set. This entire set is $39.99. The regular price is $43.99. The regular price is $43.99 for this set. And again, this pretty much gives you everything you need to be able to get started. So again, you have your paint, you have your paint brushes. It even gives you your easels there, and it comes in a nice case that's easy to be able to carry. Again, it is $39.99. Regular price is $43.99. And again, as I mentioned, you can see there, has a neat handles there for you to be able to hold it and to be able to carry it as well. Okay. All right, going to move on to our next item. And this is another set. This is 180 colored pencils. Now, again, I do a lot of things with color pencils. And today, what we're going to be doing, though, we're going to be using acrylic paint today. But look at this set here. This is a set of 180. This is from Shuttle Art. This is one of the brands you're going to see me using quite a bit during our series here on Amazon Live for the Art Spot. Okay. So this is 180 colors. So this gives you a lot of variety when you're drawing. And we will be doing some drawing projects as well. I want you to see these. They come well packaged. You can get this set for $36.99. It does come also, you can see there, it has information about the different colors. But look at the variety that you have. So not just reds, but different shades of reds. And I love the tiers of this. All you have to do is take the tier off. Look at that. So you have your different colors there. So this is a great way to keep your colored pencils all together. And again, this set is $36.99. $36.99. Again, you have your descriptions there. You can take a look. But again, you get 180 colored pencils in this set. All right, moving on to our next item. And that's going to be our acrylic set. And this is another great one here. This was a 54-piece. And I think we may actually use this today. Now, this is very affordable. This is $27.99. This also is from Shuttle Art. So as you notice, as I mentioned, this is one of our brand partners for the Art Spot. Again, this is the Shuttle Art, the colored pencils. Now here is the acrylic painting set here that we're going to take a look at next. So Shuttle Art is one of the brands you're going to be seeing us use quite a bit. And in this set, you have 30, as you can see there, 30 acrylic paints. You get a foldable wood easel. You get your art sponges, a bucket. Now, I'm not going to be using the bucket from this in today's project, but it does come with that. It has your paint brushes, and it also has your canvases. Let's go ahead and take a look so I can show you what this looks like. So you can see it there. So again, you have your paint brushes, as you can see. This is your water bucket, but again, I'm not going to be using their water bucket because I have my cleaner here, so I won't be needing that. This is to be able to mix your paint here. Nice palette there. And there you can see your paper that it comes with. There is the paint. Again, you get 30 colors of the paint, as you can see there. And then you have your canvases too and your easel. So again, this set is $27.99. $27.99 is the price for this particular set. Now, let me look and see. So we have this set, and then we have the other set. I'm trying to see which one I'm going to be able to use today. I'm going to figure out which one we're going to use for today's broadcast. Let's look at one more. This is from Sunny Glade. So you'll notice the last set that I showed you guys was from Sunny Glade 2. This next one is a wooden set from Sunny Glade. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this next. And this set is on sale right now. So it comes in, as you can see, a nice wooden case. Okay. So open up the case. And look at what you get inside. So you get your paints, as you can see there. Let me go ahead and enlarge this for you guys so you can see it better. Move this over here. There we go. So there you can see you have your oil pastel here. You have your acrylic paint here over on this side. You can see there. And you have your colored pencils up top. It does also come with an eraser, as you can see there. This set again is $25.98. This again is Sunny Glade, is this company here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put this one up. I think what we're going to do for today's show, I think I'm going to go back to the set that we talked about earlier. Because as I mentioned, we do have the different sets here. So we have shuttle art, and then we're able to have what you guys just saw there, which is Sunny Glade. I'm going to go back to the deluxe piece here, because I think this may be what we end up using today. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to use. We're going to use this one. I'm going to put this up, and I'm going to go back to our deluxe art supplies. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do some drawing, a little bit of painting too. But I wanted to be able to do a project with you guys so you can kind of get an idea of what to expect. So again, I'm going to go ahead and open this up for you guys so you can see. It does come with the canvases. I'm not going to use canvases. I'm going to use something a little unusual today. I am going to use the brushes. You can see there. So I'm going to take the brushes out. And then we have the 12 acrylic paint set. I'm going to use that today. And I'm not going to need to have the palette because, as you saw with my my brush cleaner, I'm able to be able to mix my paints there. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this out. So what we're going to do today is going to be something that, again, all of you can be able to do at home. Now, if you're like me, one of the things you guys get is a lot of packages, right? And if you get a lot of packages, one of the things that comes with those packages is styrofoam. My friends laugh at me because when I get styrofoam, and again, you guys have probably all gotten this at home in some way or another. You have styrofoam that comes in boxes, right? And a lot of times, what do you end up doing? You end up throwing it away. Well, I'm not very big on throwing away styrofoam. So as you can see, when I get styrofoam, even if it's different sizes like this, I keep it. Now you may say, well, Cyrus, why do you keep the styrofoam? Well, I keep the styrofoam because I use the styrofoam for my art projects. And since it is Arts and Crafts Month, I thought, what a cool idea for us to create some arts and crafts using the styrofoam. So that's what we're going to do in our show for today. So again, keep in mind the set that we're using today is our deluxe set. And in that we had 12 acrylic paints. That's what we're going to be using. And we're going to use the brushes that came in the set as well. I'm going to keep it highlighted for you guys on the carousel on the Amazon side. This is a set that is $39.99. Again, $39.99. So you may say, okay, what can we do with this? We can actually do a lot of things with the styrofoam, and that's what we're going to be able to work on today. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over to the side for right now so we can have our work area. Now, typically, when I'm doing a show like this, I try to be able to put something down so I don't mess up my work area. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down just a piece of cardboard. Okay, going to put that down just so I don't mess up my workstation here. Okay, so how am I going to get started? Well, first let's go ahead, and again, this is a brand new set, so you guys will see me do this from scratch. There's been no prepping of any work. Everything we're doing here together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my art as far as the paint goes. And again, this is our 12-piece acrylic set that we have here. Get it open. It does show you on the back, so you can see, it does show you the colors that you're able to get in the set. Okay. And there they are. So a nice variety of colors. That'll be good for us. Now, as far as brushes go, I'm going to use the brushes that come with the set. You can see there. I'm going to use those. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and swap out the camera so you guys can get a nice, good look at this. Okay. As we're working today. All right. So again, these are the brushes that we have that come with the set. These are our paints that we have with the set. And then we have, as I mentioned, some water in our bucket here that we'll be able to use. We also will be able to use this because it does come with a tray, remember, to be able to mix our paint. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Okay. And then we have this also to be able to use if we need to be able to do any cleaning or anything like that as well. Okay. Also have me a towel here. That's something I always keep handy just in case we have any spills or anything. I have that there too. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of our styrofoam that we have. So we have this piece, and this one has, you can see some indentions in there. I'm already getting some ideas of what we can do with that. Let's see. Here's another one, just a flat one, kind of like a rectangle. That one's promising. Have a smaller piece that's here. And again, all of these are things that you can be able to get just out of packages. So you don't, even though the set does come with canvas, you can be able just to be able to use what is here in your home. Okay. Then we have another one that is here. That's a nice, okay. So we have another kind of a rectangle one there, as you can see. All right. So these are all some great options. Some great options to be able to look at. Let's see. I think I have a bigger one. I do have a bigger one that's here. And also have another, there's another funny shaped one we have there. So again, if you get packages in your home, you probably have styrofoam laying around. This is, again, a fun way to be able to paint by yourself or with the family, but you can be able to use the canvases that do come with the set. So keep that in mind as well. So, okay. So now that we have that, now we have our canvases, I think I'm going to go with, it's always more difficult to have all these choices, but I'm going to go with the larger one here. Okay, that's what we're going to use. Now, when I was talking to Melissa earlier, I was looking at a calendar, and in the calendar, it had different types of designs in it. Also had some flowers in it too. So what I decided to do is I'm going to do a mixture of what I saw in the calendar, but also I'm going to just do a little creative thing too. But again, you can do whatever you'd like. Again, I'm going to be using the acrylic art that comes here, the acrylic paint that comes with the set. And again, the set that I'm using, this is the Deluxe Art Supplies, a 27 piece. That's $39.99. That's what we're using today. Okay. So to start off, just kind of get an idea of the best way to be able to go. Of course, we're going to need some blue. So I'm going to take my blue out. I'm going to use some green. Let's see. Got some lemon yellow there. And what is this yellow here? This is mid yellow. Okay, I may use that one. Okay, let's see. We got some just plain white here. Let's see. Okay, we got some violet. And we can always add more to here. Some rose. That looks interesting. Maybe you need that. And then we have, I think this is just regular black there. Okay. All right. So that's going to help to get us started with our project. And again, this is something fun that you can be able to do with the family or, of course, as a solo project for yourself. Of course, it's just me and you that'll be working on this together. And let's say I have my idea of what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put some of the violet in here, just a little for right now. Go ahead and take the rose, put some of it here. And some of it may actually be closed up, so you may just have to remove the paper there from it. Okay, got some red in there. All right, going to do the same thing now with the yellow. Okay. Going to do the same thing with the black. And again, this is just to get us started. Doesn't mean we won't be using more than this. And it also depends on what you're doing, where your creativity is going to be taking you, right? Let's see, we got some of our green here. Put some of it in here. Now, keep in mind that what I'm putting the paint in is what comes with the water bucket. So again, the water bucket comes in 3 pieces. You have your place where you see the water that I'll be using to clean off my brushes here. You also have a place to be able to put your actual paint. And then you have this to be able to either do mixing or to clean it off. Okay. All right, got a couple more here. Okay. And again, you can decide for yourself what you want to do. The main thing to keep in mind, what I've always loved about art, guys, is that art is personal, right? So feel free to be able to have fun with it. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, a lot of times what I will do is I will, if I have an idea, I will start off by sketching it out. So what I may do actually is do a little bit of drawing on the actual styrofoam here. Probably won't need much white because, of course, our styrofoam here is white. I do have some pencils here, and these are just regular number 2 pencils that I keep here. So let's go ahead and just kind of take a look. So what I'm envisioning right now that I'm going to be doing is a combination of a few things. I do want some sky in there, so we will have some sky. I'm envisioning some hills here. I'm thinking we're going to probably have some water here. And then I think in the foreground or up close, we're going to see some grass. So I think what I'm thinking is when you're looking at the painting, what we're going to do is we're going to have grass in the foreground, which just means that would be the closest up on us. Behind the grass, we're going to put some water here. Maybe it's a pond here. We're going to have some hills here and then some sky. Now, for myself personally, and again, this is a personal thing, when I am using styrofoam like this, typically I will have it as what they call a no bleed, which means that it's going to go all the way to the end, right? So even on the edges here, I will actually be drawing and painting there too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you guys ready? And again, this is something you can be able to do too. You can do it on paper. Of course, you can be able to do it on the canvas. But this is a fun project that you can be able to do with the family. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to start off by drawing where I see the heels are going to be here. As you can see, I'm just doing that really light there. Because again, I'm going to be painting this, so I don't have to worry too much about that. I think I'm going to put another one here. Like that. And we may even put a third one, and maybe make this one a little bit taller here. Okay. And keep in mind too, it is going to spill out over on the side. So I'll make sure that I sketch that out too so that it makes sense. All right, next thing we're going to do is, as I mentioned, I'm seeing the sky. So this is where our sky will be here, as you can see. So our sky is going to be here. You can see where I drew out where the hills or the mountains are going to be there. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to have some water down here. So before we get to the water, what I'm envisioning is there probably will be some grass or ground down at the base of the where the mountains or hills are. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then the way I'm seeing it is the water will then be closer to us. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw where you can see where the water will be there. Okay. And as I mentioned, then we're gonna have grass. So it's almost like as we're looking at it, that we're kind of looking over the grass into where everything else is taking place. Okay. So to do the grass, we're just going to go ahead. And again, the grass is going to be in the foreground. So the grass is going to look a lot bigger because it's closer to us. That's going to also help us when we come to our perspective. So if the grass is closer to us, and I'll have it so you can be able to look through the grass and to see the water, to see the hills of the mountains there too. And so that's what we're going to put there. Okay, that's good. And that's going to fill up the entire space. Now, the other cool thing, and we'll talk about this as we go throughout the art spot. The art spot does officially launch April the 7th, but I wanted to give you guys just a sneak peek as we've gotten the studio set up so you can know what to expect here. But for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching the art spot here on Amazon Live. I'm Cyrus Webb. Glad you all can be with us as we're doing a little bit of demonstrating today some of the art we're going to be creating here. March is recognized as Arts and Crafts Month, so we're excited to be able to do some arts and crafts. I decided to use just some regular styrofoam, something that you probably have here in your home, something that comes in boxes probably all the time. I'm using that as our canvas for this. Okay, so how do I decide what brush I want to use? So typically when I'm deciding on the brushes, I'm thinking about what I'm actually drawing and what it's going to look like. Hey, Makita, good to be able to see you over there on YouTube. Glad you could join us. We just decided, Makita, what we're going to be painting today, and I just already sketched it out. We're going to be doing some mountains with some sky back there. We're going to have some grass and, of course, a body of water, and then some grass in the foreground as well. That's what we're going to be working on today. And again, just using some styrofoam because since it's Arts and Crafts Month, I want you to be able to use something that is easy to be able to get to, something you can easily get to. So now that I'm looking at what we're going to be doing, let me look and see. I think I may need, I'm going to use some of our brown here, and I'm going to do some mixing actually with it because I'll be using that, of course, for our mountains. Okay. All right. Okay. We're ready to get started here. So this is always exciting. I was telling Melissa earlier, you know, I have ideas when it comes to art, which is why I think art is so fun. Makita and I just had a great conversation about being in the flow. And again, for myself, as I kind of decide on the brushes, so this is a number 10 brush here. This is a number 12 brush here. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the number 12 brush. I'm going to use it for the mountains and also use it for the grass. Okay, so I'll be using a mixture there for the number 12 there. And let's see. And this is kind of how I decide. I think about what the project I'm doing and then think about what brush will work the best. And you don't have to worry about learning the numbers. The numbers are typically printed. Like this is a number 4, so it has the 4 on there so you can see it. So you don't have to worry about learning those. But I think this is going to be good for our grass that is in the background. And we may even be able to use this too for our body of water. Let's see, unless we may use the number 10. Let's see what that may look like. Yeah, we may use the number 10 too. But let's start off. We're going to start off, go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start off with the number 12. Okay. The other thing I want you to remember when it comes to art projects like this is that art is very forgiving. So never feel like you cannot correct a mistake. You can, believe me. I do it all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of my brown. So you guys saw me get here. Take some of my brown here. I'm going to put it over here in this other side here, just so I can kind of take some of it off the brush. And then I'm going to go into where I have my hills or my mountains. And that's where I'm going to start. Now, there are a few ways you can be able to do this. Some people will do it almost in layers. That's the way that I'm going to do it, to be able to create some texture, because most mountains or hills are not flat, right? So I'm going to start in by going in like this and creating the texture. And that's what I'm doing first, creating the texture with the mountains. Then, as I mentioned, I have this one over here on this side. So now I'm just going in and basically getting my outline in of what I've already drawn. As you can see there. So again, we're doing the mountains here. I'm going to raise this one up some. And then we have this one that's going even higher up. So you can see how we're, again, just following the line. Let's get some more of our brown there. Just following the line out. And keeping in mind what we talked about, this is going to have a bleed, which means we're going to be going all the way to the end, which means I'll need to look and see, okay, depending on where the mountain is here, that's where it should be here as well. So see, that's what we're doing there. And the same thing on this end. Looking at where the mountain ended here, I'll determine where it's going to be here. Okay. So that gives us our beginning. So now we have an idea of where the perspective will be. So that means our sky will be here. And we can decide later if we're going to add birds or that kind of thing. Our grass would be at the base. So then I'll kind of decide on probably the season by how I do the grass. And then we're going to have the water that's there. May have a little bit of a reflection there, even from the mountains. We'll figure that part out. And then we have our grass that's in the foreground. Okay. So again, this is something that you can be able to do easily with the kids. I myself, of course, doing it as just as a solo artist. But again, I'm just going to go down. And what I typically don't do, especially when I'm using styrofoam as my canvas, I'm not going to go and go straight down. You want to be able to make it so it's obvious there's some texture there. See that? You want to make sure there's texture, because if it's a mountain, it's not going to be smooth, right? So that's what we're doing there, so that you get the texture of it. And the same thing as you go throughout here. And if you notice, I'm going from one to the other because it makes it a whole lot easier for me. And it helps me too with the rhythm. Okay. So you see that? You see how it's already filling in? So again, this is what I love about projects like this, especially those that are on the styrofoam, because you have a lot of leeway as to how you can be able to maneuver it. And you already going to have some texture because of the styrofoam, right? Because the styrofoam has some texture to it. But look at that. See, our mountains are already coming in. And then it's just deciding how far down they go. Now, from where my idea was, I had them stopping just a little bit lower. So I'm going to go a little bit lower, because remember, it's going to be meeting the grass. And then the next layer is going to be, after the grass, of course, that will be where the pond or the water, the lake, whatever body of water it is that we're going to decide on there. Okay. But you see how we're doing it. So we're basically just going, now I'm going in reverse. And look at us, we're creating our mountains there. Keeping in mind, though, that this is a no bleed. Got a crease there in the styrofoam. Just got to fill that in too. Which means we're going to do the same thing on the side. So again, we're going here on the side. Again, same thing. See? So it should meet up. So this will be perfect for framing when we're finished, because it'll go all the way to the end. Okay. All right. There we go. Now, the other great thing, guys, about using acrylic paint. So you will notice on some of the projects we'll be doing in the future, we will be using oil and even watercolor. But let me tell you what I love about acrylic paint. It dries fairly quickly. So this is already starting to dry, which is good because we'll actually be, the color you guys see will not be the final color, because as it dries, it will lighten or darken. So that's also how we'll be able to decide. So there, as you can see, we have our base there. I'm going to, now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to actually round it out a little bit. And the reason I'm going to round it out is because the way I'm now envisioning it, as we have the heels there, the grass is going to be kind of growing up around where the body of water is. And typically a body of water is round there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just now thinking about that. And that, again, is the great thing, again, about art projects, right? You can be able to create it. So what I'm going to do now, you'll notice I'm going to round off the base. So in rounding off the base, that'll make it more a home for the body of water. So that's what we're going to do now, is round this off. See how we're changing the shape there? See? And that will help it then to be able to, as I see the body of water, for that to be able to make more sense. So now what I'm envisioning is we will have the grass at the base of the hills or the mountains. We're going to have the body of water, and then where we're standing, which is the foreground, that's where you'll see the larger blades of grass there. Okay. Now, since we did that, what do we have to do next? Have to remember our bleed, right? So we have to go back and make sure that our bleed now corresponds with what we just did. For those that are just tuning in on Amazon Live and you're watching, welcome. You're watching The Art Spot, my brand new show coming here to Amazon. April the 7th is the official date, but we wanted to be able to do some fun ideas for you guys to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. So see, we have our bleed done. What to expect. We're working right now. This is March is recognized as Arts and Crafts Month, so we figured we'd do a nice art project together. Using some of the products that you guys see in the carousel. So now as this is drying here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten this up a little bit, okay? Because that again is what I'm envisioning. To do that, I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the white. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to take another one of our brushes that we have in our set. This is the number 6 brush. I'm going to take just a little bit of the white, and I'm going to put it over here in this section. So you see I'm putting it over here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is take some of my brown and bring it over here to the white. And that's going to help me to lighten it up. See that? So now we're getting a lighter brown there. See? I'm going to go up here and better define our mount. See that? See the difference in the color there? So this is another cool thing you can be able to do when I put this brush in my water. This is another cool thing you can do when it comes to the mixing of acrylic paint. See, I'm able to make that contrast now of light and dark right there. I'm going to do that because what if the sun may be hitting on that side, right? So that, again, is going to add some more dimension to our mountain. And again, we did that just by mixing some of the white in with the brown. But you see that nice tint it gave it there? And that, again, is going to add some dimension to our work so that it doesn't look so flat. Because, again, mountains would not look flat, right? They would look a little rugged. And also, if the light is shining on them, well, that means there will be differences in the color there, too. Okay. Go ahead and do the same thing here. We're also going to better define this one here. Okay. So what do you guys think? Is this something you all would do? You guys think you could do one for yourself? Earl, great overhead shot. Thank you, Earl. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's on sale right now, by the way. It's in the carousel. Um, and it comes with the ring light too, Earl. Comes with the ring light. So we're creating some artwork on my beloved styrofoam, Earl. That's what we're doing. If you're just coming in, what we settled on is, and when I say we, that is the me, myself, and I that are involved in this project. We settled on we're going to do a skyline with mountains. We're going to have some grass at the base of the mountains, then a body of water, and then we're going to have some grass there too. I was just showing them a nice trick when it comes to lightening up things like our mountains. I'm going to add some more white here to our brown, and that's going to give us a little bit of a highlight on our mountains. Yeah, Earl, welcome to Studio A. You know, we a little bit of a different look here. All right, so again, remember what I mentioned about where the light could be hitting? That's where we want to make sure that we have the lighter brown there, because that's where it would make sense. Also notice what I'm doing here. I'm also creating separation between the mountains in that process too, because they wouldn't be connected. But you see how I'm able to add some definition there just by adding that lightness that's there. And I'm going to do the same thing here to create some separation between these two. The light will be hitting from this side, so we're going to add some definition here. And that will separate it from this mountain here. So that's a great way to be able to add that definition. And the main thing you don't want to do, again, when you're working on styrofoam for something like this in particular, you don't want to swipe with the brush. You want to dab with the brush, because remember, the mountains are not going to be smooth. So you don't want to do it in a way that would create a smooth effect. You want to do it in a way that would create some texture to the actual mountains. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we got the first part of our layer down, right? See, that wasn't so bad, was it? So again, this is something you can do with the family. Again, it being Arts and Crafts Month, it's something you can do just to relax, create some fun artwork, and go ahead and clean off my brushes there as we get ready to go into the next part, which is going to be the grass. Okay. And we're going to wait and do the sky, because I want to do the sky when I actually do the body of water, because I'll need to add some reflections there, which we'll get more into that. Again, all of this, all the art that we're using here is in the deluxe art set. Then in this set, you get your canvases, you get your paint that we're using here, you get your brushes that we're using here as well. You get all of that for $39.99. We also, though, are using my water bucket. I'm going to highlight it for you guys in the carousel. There, the water bucket that we're using here. Let's see. There it is. We have the water bucket. It's $9.99, and the water bucket has the place for our paint for us to be able to do our mixing here, as well as, of course, a place to be able to clean off our brushes, which is what we have here. Okay. All right, so let's move on now to our grass. And as I was saying, if you remember, we're going to be using for the grass the number 10 brush for this. Okay. So again, keep in mind the thing that we've been talking about. It's all about the texture, which means for grass, we're not going to be doing it smooth either. We're going to also be using it in a way that shows some texture. All right. So let's get into it. To get started, what we're going to do, and this is what I do when I have something like what we have here, a contrast from dark to light, so that I make sure that it's something that makes sense. I take a little bit of our green here. You can see it there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush, but the reason why I like these angled brushes is that we're going to go straight up and down, because remember, grass isn't growing this way, right? It's growing this way. So that's what we want to do. So the best way we're going to do it, we're going to start away from the base of the mountains and then work our way up. Okay, so we're going to start away from the mountains, start to where we have the water will be, and then work our way up. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss any comments there. Okay, here we go. So again, starting here. And keep in mind that we do have to remember about what we talked about when it comes to the no bleed. So that means the bleed. So we want to make sure that we go all the way around. But you see how we're doing that? See how it's creating the texture? By going up and not going flat. So we don't want to go horizontal. We want to make sure we're going vertical. Okay. And again, keeping with that, what we decided on with that circular pattern. You see how now you can see, so the body of water will be here. It's going to make more sense for us when we actually put the body of water in. Okay. So all of this will be filled in with grass. Okay. So let's get some more of our green there. And keep in mind, we have to do our bleed here. So I'm going to go ahead and go up, as you can see there on the styrofoam. And we're going to go all the way up to the mountains here. All the way up to the mountains. Okay. Then we're going to follow that pattern going up here. So when we get up to the mountains, if we're doing our job right, it should look like the grass is there, right? The grass is at the bottom. You should be able to see the definition of grass. So you know, okay, that is grass, because it won't look smooth. And there we go. You see how that's filling in? See how that, so you can tell, see how it's still with that angle, able to create your grass and create that effect. See? Look at that. See how it fills in? Really easy to be able just to keep that pattern. And as you see, you can tell the difference. You can see how it's not, how it looks like it's going up over the mountains there, right? That's how it should be when it comes to your different layers of dimension. So if you're back here, which is where we're standing here with the grass in the foreground, the grass would look like it's covering up the base of the mountain. And that's the effect that we're creating here now. And again, making sure you're not, what you don't want to do is just brush. You want to make sure that you are going up in an angle so that, again, you have that texture. And I'm going to show you guys a really cool trick, too, to add some even more dimension to it here in just a bit. But you see how our picture is coming together already. So we put our mountains in. But again, it all begins with deciding what you want to do. Now, I do abstract work too. I love abstract work. And again, we have to do our bleed here. Same thing. But I figured for this one, I'd do something a little bit more realistic. And even when I'm doing this type of work for my clients that have me doing art projects for them, you know, that's part of the creativity part too. Being able to decide, okay, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. Okay. You see how we're just filling that in? And again, adding that definition with the grass and the mountains there. Okay. And again, I'm going to show you guys a neat trick to add some even better separation. But look at that. So you can see it already coming to life there, right? So to add some extra dimension to it, let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take the brush that I was using earlier and we're going to add some more white to it. Now, why are we going to add white to it? We're going to add white to it because the white's going to help us create the definition in the grass. Okay, so let me show you how that's going to work. You'll notice this brush too also has the angle. See that? And we're going to be doing it in the same direction. So what we're going to do is take some of our white. Okay. Now that we have the full body of it done, take some of our white. We're going to put it over here in this section. Okay. And then we're going to mix in some of our green. And look at that color that we're able to produce there. Look at that. And see, that's going to give us even more dimension. I'm going to add a little bit more white to that. See, this is a great way too to keep your colors separated too. So we have a little bit more white there. Now notice this when we go in. See, now we're getting even more dimension with that lighter green. See that? So you see the difference there? So we're getting even more of that dimension with the lighter green. Again, making sure that you're keeping that angle, though. That's the main thing. Keep the angle so that you're creating some separation. Again, going all the way to the base of the mountain, because that's what you typically would see. Okay? And look at that. All right? Now, while we already have the green here, let's go ahead and add our grass to the foreground. Because remember what we said, we're going to have our body of water here, right? So this is going to help us out. And we will do some touching up on this because I typically, when I've made it kind of a decision as to what I'm going to do, I leave just a little bit of room for me to be able to work so I don't create a mess. So let me show you how we're going to do the grass in the foreground to bring all of this together, okay? What we're going to do is go back into our green, okay? And we're going to go in wider strokes. Watch, see that? We're going to go in wider strokes now. Look at that. And that's going to add our grass in the foreground because remember, that's going to be closer to us, so that's going to be larger, right? It's going to be larger than what we see in the background. So notice again, going vertical, because that's how grass is, right? And we're going to take that all the way to the end. Now you can see again, see how that definition is coming in? I want you to look at that. See how that definition is coming in there. So that's what we want. So we want the grass in the foreground to kind of be like it's the closest to you, and everything else is pushed off in the back. And the way you're able to create that effect is by making the grass larger in the foreground so that it looks like it's closer to you. Now, you also would notice something else I'm doing differently here than I did up here. I actually am brushing down. You notice that? I'm brushing down. But why am I doing that? I'm doing that because that's going to help me to create the effect. Okay? So see, we've gone all the way. Look at that. Seeing it, you can tell the definition there already in the grass. Now, we do have to remember our bleed. So I'm going to put this brush here for right now. So we can remember our bleed that we have to do. Because again, what we've done here, we have to make sure that we do here too. Again, going straight down, as you can see there. And that helps to create our bleed. See? So you can see it's starting to come into form. And the same thing on this end. Because keep in mind, our body of water is going to be here, right? All right. All right. So now that that is done, we're going to need some more green for this, of course. And we also, I'm going to be mixing some black in this too. Now, why am I mixing black in? I'm mixing the black in because what we want to be able to do is create the effect of, especially the closest to us, that grass is a little bit darker because it's not close to where the light is. So that's how we're going to create that difference there. So I already have some black that I've mixed in over here with this green. Just going to take that and mix it in here. And watch this. Again, doing the same effect, we're going to be going up and down, okay? But notice the difference, and you'll see the difference in the shade there. With this, we're not going all the way to the end of the grass because, again, we want to be able to create the dimension. So some of the grass is not going to be as close. So the grass that is the closest to us will be the darkest. And again, I'm just mixing that black and green in together. Again, just be able to create, again, that difference. You can see, you see the definition that's in between there? It's going to be even more pronounced here in a moment. Watch what happens when we add a little bit of white to the mix. Watch this. I'm going to add some white there. So we're playing with the white and the black here when it comes to our colors. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually add, instead of using my green here, because I'm going to need a lot more green for this part, I'm going to just squeeze just a little bit of green into that mixture of the white and the black. There we go. And again, this is going to help us as we're creating, again, the definition. See that color? So again, that's going to help us to create that definition for the grass. Now, for those of you who are joining us on social, well, even you guys joining us on Amazon, this is very relaxing to me. What do you guys normally do to relax? Are projects like this something you guys can think you may want to try or do? Or what do you normally do when it comes to relaxing or at least expressing some creativity? Let me know. Also, keep in mind, too, we have to do our bleed here on the bottom as well. So again, for this, the difference is we can go straight across. We can go horizontal for this. So that way this green matches this green. See? Matches the green that's here at the bottom. And this is coming out really nice. And again, this is all just from styrofoam, guys. Something that you would typically probably just throw away, right? But this is a great way to be able to use it in a really creative way to create a project for yourself and for the family. One thing to keep in mind, though, when you're working with the Melissa said, "I love seeing it come together." Melissa, you know, it is cool, right? It is cool. And again, a lot of times I'm weird in that for me, like when I see a piece of styrofoam, I have certain ideas of things that I see. Look at that. I love kind of getting the ideas and then saying, oh, I could do this with this and I could do this with this. We're not through with the grass yet because we're still creating our separation. We're going to actually use a smaller brush here in a bit, but I want to get clean this brush off. I want to show you guys a pretty cool trick. So you'll notice here, see how this grass here is lighter? We're going to take this smaller brush, and this is the number 4. Watch how we're able to define it. Watch this. To define the green even more. And this is just by adding a little bit of white to it. Just adding a little bit of white to it. You see how that helps to define it? Move it up so you guys can see. So again, it helps because we've already determined where the light's coming from, right? So that makes it a lot easier for us to be able to get that definition, which means when I do this side, I know I can come in a little bit darker. So again, this won't be as light, but look at that, what we're able to do. See that? Just filling that in. Really cool. And again, just filling it in. And again, keeping your brush, the main thing, keeping your brush going horizontal. That's the key here. You don't want to do it vertically. I'm sorry, keeping your brush vertical. You don't want to do it horizontal because, hey, Alfonso, good to see you, man. Alfonso, welcome to the Art Spot. This is our introduction of our brand new show we're bringing here to Amazon. We'll be doing live art projects. Today, we're doing something with styrofoam, something you guys can probably get in your packaging. We're using styrofoam as our canvas for our project today. And we're creating a nice scene. We have our mountain set up. We have some grass. We're going to have some water in here. Of course, the sky. I'm going to get it set up here in a bit. And again, just remember keeping the brush vertical. That's the main thing. Okay. All right. Okay. This again, because as I mentioned earlier, everybody, the acrylic dries pretty quick. And because it is on styrofoam and it absorbs, you don't have to worry as much about it taking a long time to dry. Okay. But you see how we're able to easily go in here and create something that looks really cool. And we're about to now take it to another level. Now, I'm going to do the sky. Now, it may surprise you. Clean my brush off here. It may surprise you to know, even though the styrofoam is white, I'm still going to use a layer of white. But I'm going to explain to you why. I use white when I'm doing things on white canvases because it helps to add, again, another layer. A lot of this is about layer. But we also want to remember the sky is not flat, right? We all know that. So the sky is not flat. So we do want to add some different dimensions. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my white. I'm back using the 10 brush that comes with this set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now this I am doing horizontal. I'm going to go in and create what's going to be our cloud effects in different areas. That's what I'm doing here, creating our cloud effects. Seeing over here, I'm probably going to have something here. And this will make more sense to you here in a bit. Okay, there's that. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit more white. So I'm going to put some more white here. Again, I'm not doing it everywhere. And again, you'll understand why here in a bit. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add our blue, but I'm not going to add it as a straight blue. I'm going to add it with a little bit of a mix to it. And the reason we're going to do that is because I don't want, no sky is just blue, right? Let me see which one we have here. This is our signature blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the signature blue here. Going to need a good bit of this. And let me see what size brush we're going to use for this. You know what I might do? I might use, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use our fan brush. Let me show you why they call it the fan brush. It'll be obvious when you see it. And this, again, all of these are in the set. You see that? It looks like a fan. See? All right. Now, this one's a little bit more tedious. What we're about to do now is a little bit more tedious. So what I always tell people is to have fun with it, but just take your time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the brush. This, again, is a number 5. Again, all of this comes with the set. I'm going to layer it with the white. Okay, layer it with the white. Then I'm going to take this and put the white in this section here. And then I'm going to take some of the blue and mix it in with that. And look at that color that we get. See, that's more of the sky. See that? So we went from this blue, see that, to this blue. All by just mixing the white. Don't ask me how I knew how much to use. I really don't know. It's the way my crazy brain works. I can't help you with that. But that's not even the coolest part of this. The coolest part's going to be when we layer it on top of where we put the white. Okay? So you guys ready for this? This is pretty cool. So watch this. Here we go. All right, ready? Watch. And again, we're going left to right on this. And notice how it mixes with the white that we laid down earlier. See, so that's what adds our cloud effect. Get some more here. And again, we're just going from left to right on this. But you see how we're able to get the different colors in here? That's because we layered it with the white. So remember earlier I put the white in places. Now it's blending in with that white that's already on our canvas. There will be some other blending done, but I'm going to tell you why again I use this brush here in a bit, but you're probably about to see it. So one of the reasons why I use the fan brush, and you'll see how it's doing there, why I use this particular brush, is because what we don't want to do, hey Chris, what we don't want to do is to mix the sky too much with the mountains, right? Because then we'll be mixing our colors together. Chris, welcome to the introduction of the Art Spot, man. Glad you could be with us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the mountains, but you want to make sure, just taking your time. You do not want to mix, of course, the two colors together. And you can take as much time as you need to there. I mean, I've kind of gotten used to doing this, so I can move a little bit quicker. But this, if you need to go slower, take your time. Nobody's rushing you, right? And the good thing is too, because of the medium that we're using with the styrofoam, you don't have to worry about the brown mixing too much with your sky anyway, because it's already dry. We can't forget our bleed, though, of course, because we do have to go up all the way off the styrofoam to make sure that it's covered too. But you see how we're able to mix these colors together really easily. And to create our sky together. See that? See how cool that is? And this is actually, I know this is work, guys. I do understand that, but this is very relaxing to me, which is why, a lot of times you all don't even know I'm working on art projects, because this is part of my relaxation time. But it's really cool. Creating is just something I really enjoy in different ways, whether it's writing, drawing, painting. It's just something that, that really I enjoy. I'm just now happy through the Art Spot. I get to share this with you guys too. So you guys get to be a part of this with me. We want to shout out our partners for making this show possible today too. Again, I'm going to go over the brands that we use here today. But again, you'll notice that with this set that we're using, it comes with everything you need. So you don't have to worry about, if you buy the one set, you're all good. Let's see. Earl says, I can't wait to talk tomorrow and discuss what kind of emails. Earl, you know what? Don't be starting nothing, okay? Don't be I don't even want to think about that right now. Um, but Earl, since you're still here, is this relaxing to watch? I love watching people do this because it's, to me, that's relaxing too. Is it relaxing to watch? I'm going to actually mix some more blue in there because don't forget we have to do our bleed on the top of this too. So keep that in mind. Make sure I get the right blue here. Yes, this is the right one here. Okay. All right, we're going to do what we just did earlier. We're going to mix some more white in this. So I'm going to clean this brush off again. Set this up here. Clean off our brush. Okay. We're going to mix some more of our white in with the blue. Earl says, I have no interest in art, but just seeing how you do this type of show is intriguing. Oh, well, cool. Good. Intriguing is good. Intriguing is good. Okay. So the reason why I'm doing the mixture, as you can see, we're almost finished here. But keep in mind, we do have our bleed to do here, right? So we want to make sure that we get that so that it matches here. Now, keep in mind also what I mentioned, you can be able to do this horizontal, that's fine. For myself personally, and I'll be talking more about this, there is a spray that I use that'll keep everything kind of in place, so you don't have to worry about it smudging on you. But also, of course, if you're going to frame this, which you can easily frame this styrofoam, if you're going to frame this, of course, you won't have to worry about it at all. But this is cool to be able to do. And as you can see, it does not require a lot of equipment. It does take some time, but you know, as we've been working together, you can see it really is just about layering it. It's all about the layers. Let's see. Now, how you did the sky without actually painting clouds is brilliant. Melissa says, being a creative myself, I absolutely love watching you start with the bank and each layer is bringing it to. It is cool, isn't it, Melissa? I mean, it is work. Yes, it is work. I understand that, but it is so much fun, which I know is sad in some respects, but it is a lot of fun to be able to do it. And again, we're doing our bleed even here on the side here, just to make sure that everything is uniform. So as you can see, we're doing the bleed for each layer, including when we get ready to do the water. Now, the other great thing is we're about to get into the water. I'm going to show you guys some fun things to be able to do with that, using the colors that we've already used. And we're going to add a little bit of extra color in here too. I just had an idea that we're going to actually add to this too. Okay, so there we can see, while this is drying, I can go ahead and start on our actual water. Now, keep in mind what we decided, right? We decided that the water was kind of almost surrounded by the grass, which is why we designed it this way, right? So what we want to do, because now this is dry. See this? I don't have to worry about this. It's dry. So I can go ahead and get into my water. Now, this is what you want to make sure you do with the water. You don't just want to go in with this mixture. You want to do what we did earlier with the white. And again, you may be wondering why. It's going to allow you to have more definition, and it's going to help you with our reflections too. We have to do reflections. You know, water reflects, right? So we have to do our reflections. So let's clean our brush off. So I'm going to go back. This is the number 5 brush that comes with the set. We're going to take our white, and we're just going to put it into where the body of water is. Now we're going to just put it. Don't worry about it being neat here, because this is going to be part of our reflection. Where you want to take more care is what I'm about to show you guys next. Because what you want to do is use your white to clean up the edges of where the grass is. So let me show you. So what we're going to do is take the white, And we're just actually going to press down and clean up. See that? Clean up the edges of where the grass is so that the water makes more sense there. See how I'm doing that? Just going around cleaning up the edges of the water where the grass meets the water. This part's a little tedious, but you see how it's cleaning, how it kind of smooths it out, right? And that's going to be important when we actually put our water in. I mean, creation is just such a wonderful thing, right? So let's go ahead. Let's take our brush. We're going to go into the mixture that we made, which is our blue and white here, okay? Keep in mind, though, we have some help because we have an extra layer of extra layer of white that we've added here. Notice the color that comes out of this. Watch this. Now with this, what you want to do, this pattern is going to be a little bit different, okay? Remember when we were doing the sky, I said you don't want to actually be going straight. When we did the mountains, you don't. With the water, you do. And you'll notice why when the effect comes. It's okay for me to touch this because, again, this dries quickly, so it's not going to hurt this. But if you don't feel comfortable putting your hand here, that's perfectly okay. But I want you guys to really see what happens when we do this. Watch. Look at that, how we put the water in. And again, we're following the pattern of where we put the white. You see that? And that's how we start putting in our water. Now what we want to do is to go in streaks. Look at that. And because we use the white, remember the white we put down? That's helping us bring out the reflections in the water. And we're going to do that all the way. So again, remember when we put the white down, that's what's creating that effect right there. So because we're going straight across, because when I put the white down, I was going straight across with that too. That is what helps us to create the effect so it looks like it's water. And we're going to go all the way down to our grass with this. Keep in mind what we talked about, and you'll notice this with the color. Notice I didn't put any white down here at the bottom, because remember, this is going to be the darker area here. Remember, this is the darker area because it's not close to the light. And we're just able to fill it in with our blue and white that we made here. And keeping in mind our bleed, you see how that's all coming together? Keeping in mind our bleed, we do have to do our bleed. There's not as much here now, and this is dry by now too, so you don't have to worry about hurting your sky. But then we have your bleed here. You're going to do the same thing. You see how it meets up there? See? Same thing on this side. And do the same thing. Now, so there we have the base of our painting, but we're not done yet. We're not done. We have our pieces in place, right? We have our sky. We have our mountains we created. We have our grass. We have our body of water. We have our grass in the foreground. Now that we have all those pieces in place, we can now be able to seal it up. That's what I call it. So what you want to do is to make sure there's no loose ends. So what I'm going to do with the blue, I'm going to start here and just go up, creating some streaks in the water. Because again, water is not flat, right? You're going to be able to see some movement. And again, I'm helped by the white. See, that's what's helped me to light it up. The white that I put down there is helping me to lighten it up. I'm just going to go all the way across, and that's going to seal it for us. Okay, so now we have that sealed. Now I'm going to go up, have a little bit of blue that's left here to the sky and do the same thing. Again, I'm helped because we have that layer of white, remember, that's down below. There we have it. Okay, good. Okay, now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit more definition on the grass that's near the mountains as we wrap up here. And the reason why we're going to do that is we want to make sure that it's very clear what it is, but also just give it a little bit more definition. To do that, I'm going to actually use a little bit of black. Okay, so I'm using my brown and I'm using some black here. And the reason why I'm using brown and black and not the actual blue yet is because we want to make sure, think about that, that's going to kind of be in the shade area. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay. So you see, we took some of the, you see the black that's there. And I'm going to take now some of my green, and I'm going to mix that with it. And see, just give me a darker green. And that's just going to help us again with the definition. I'm again using the number 4 brush. And we're only doing here because we don't want to do here because, again, we already know this is closer to us. So watch this. We're going to go in vertically. And look at that. We're just creating some more definition so that it looks like grass and not just a blob there. The important thing here is to make sure you're again straight up and down, because that, again, see how it creates the definition there? See that? That's what you want to make sure you do. Create the definition. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, as an added bonus, as we wrap up here, and again, I appreciate you guys being with us for this introduction to the Art Spot. Hope you guys will be following us too, as we are bringing you guys this show on Amazon. It's my hope that this is one of those shows that you guys can be able to watch, relax with, but also be able to enjoy and see a way that you can be able to follow along if you'd like to as well. So what I decided to do, and this just came to me as I was wrapping this all up, let's add a little bit of color to this. And to do that, I'm going to use the more fine brush. In this particular set, this is a number 3 brush. You can see it's a finer brush here. Put it there so you can see it. And we're going to add some color. And the reason why we're going to do that, we're going to add some little flowers. And we're going to do this in both sets. Now, keep in mind, if you're going to be adding flowers to your foreground and background, of course, the color will be more pronounced in the foreground. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and do that here. And this is just going to bring some extra color. You can, of course, put them wherever you want to. I mean, that's the cool thing about it being your art. But you notice that? See how it just adds that little extra pop? And we will add just some in the back, but again, they won't be as large because they're considered in the background. So what we will do basically are just dots. So you'll know they're there, but nothing that is very pronounced. Because again, they would be smaller because they're further away from us from where we're looking, right? And we're going to do the same thing with the red. Just dots. Again, keeping in mind they would be smaller, so you're not going to see a whole lot of definition that's there, right? And then as they're closer up, here we will see more. So we want to make these larger. And again, this just adds some extra color to it. As I'm doing this now, I just had another idea, maybe even doing a mixture here, which we'll see how that looks. Okay. But you see how this is the cool thing about creativity. And again, since it is Arts and Crafts Month, a great way for you guys to be able just to let your creativity run wild. Adding whatever you want to it. Okay. So we just added some extra color there by adding in some little flowers. And we can even, if you'd like to, take a little bit of the yellow to add some definition to the red to mix them together. Look at that. That just adds a little bit more definition to them. Again, the possibilities are endless. This is your creation. You can pretty much do what you want to with it. Okay. All right. Okay. And there we have it. That is our Arts and Crafts project for Arts and Crafts Month. Again, a great way for you guys to be able to do something that's fun. Something, as you can see, you can do it that's relaxing with the whole family if you'd like to, or by yourself. For myself, when I'm doing projects like this, my main thing is to make sure I'm doing something that I enjoy. That's what I try to do. And so for this, we're being creative. You know, we didn't try to do anything. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Didn't try to do anything that was too difficult, but something that you could actually enjoy being able to do. I'm going to swap out for you guys here so you can see, get a closer view here of what we created. Look at that. We did good, didn't we? We did good. And again, keep in mind, this is just styrofoam. All we did was took some styrofoam. Hey, Kate, good to be able to see you. But it's a cool way to be able to do something that's fun, something that's relaxing. And you could always build on it as well. I had some other ideas, and I was like, Cyrus, okay, that's enough. That's good. But you know, this is the great thing about art, and that's what I want you guys to be able to know when it comes to the art spot. You know, we are here to be able to help you with your creativity, to give you some great ideas, and I hope you're able to find something fun from this. Hope you guys will continue to follow us because we do have more coming. Until next time, though, thank you all for dropping by the art spot. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.